company's being nationalized by the United States government, and all the bills now go to the American taxpayer. I don't see how anybody who's a professional in the stock markets, analysts, economists, could have missed it. It was a conspiracy of silence. Everybody in Washington, New York, they already knew years ago they were bankrupt. You had a bunch of political appointees in there. That all should have been put in jail. They all looted the companies. Even more egregious is the fact that professionals who were managing money for pension and profit-sharing plans, retirement plans, mutual funds, they were buying the stock of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac over these last 4 years without any financials. There's a thing called fiduciary responsibility and suitability and the prudent man rule. And none of these apply. The SEC looked the other way. The SEC is part of the problem. They don't function except for the rich bankers on Wall Street. In a corporate fascist society, all of these big companies get in trouble, and the ones that don't get in trouble. The people at the bottom, they live in poverty. The people in the middle become slaves of the state. And the people at the top, that top 10 or 15%, they have everything and rule everything and do everything they want. Your government and corporate America and Wall Street, the banks and the insurance companies, they lie about everything. That lying is now socially and politically acceptable. When all is said and done, there's about 8,500 banks in the United States. Probably 4,000 to 4,500 will either be merged or go under. And in the next year, you're going to see at least 300 banks go down, because they always announce around midnight on Friday if a bank or banks have gone under, to hide it from the American public. And it's going to become monstrous. Nowhere do you want to have more than $100,000 in a bank. And this is going to be a very, very, very tough time. The states are going to end up with no money. They can't raise taxes. They're going to have to lower real estate taxes. And the revenues have fallen out dramatically, and they will continue to do so. The states are going to be laying off people. They're going to be cutting back on services. It is not going to be easy, and it's not going to be nice. The power behind government, which is Wall Street and banking, will continue to do what they want to do. They're in a box and they can't get out. Most of the people who go into the executive office don't have a clue about anything economic or financial, and they're politicians, so it's not their function. So it's the bureaucrats and the people on Wall Street. I mean, just look at what's gone on with Goldman Sachs and their appointees. There must be 30, 40 of them from Goldman Sachs who are running our government from behind the scenes as official appointees in Washington. And of course, they're running everything for the benefit of Wall Street. And that's got to stop. The manipulation of markets has got to stop. We have to have a Congress that will react to these kind of things. The American people should not be looted. And what the power behind governments is up to here is that they want world government, and the only way they can get people to accept that is by bringing them financially to their knees. And they know that it's not going to work. And they're hoping hope against hope that some miracle will happen, that we'll have another world war or something like that they can create to extricate themselves. And this has happened before. The problems that we have are systemic. They're not going to go away. They have to be fixed. The only way they can be fixed ultimately is with a depression. And it will come. And in the meantime, we're going to have hyperinflation, because the Federal Reserve is creating money and credit at a rate, and has been for over the last 4 years, of an average of probably 14%. And that's not going to change. And on top of that, they're creating trillions of dollars, either by raising money through bond auctions by the Treasury, or by making money out of thin air by the Federal Reserve. That money is going in to the economy. The minute it hits the economy, it's immediately monetized, which means it's immediately inflationary. Of course, what they're doing here and in Europe is nationalizing the banks. And they're trying to consolidate them and have them under government control. eventually they want to financially control every single American, and probably everybody in the world eventually. Ron Paul and Dennis Kucinich and others like that should be kept in office. There are people who should be taken out, like 99% of them. And, you know, they're starting to lay off. Massachusetts decided today that they're going to have to lay off 1,000 people and cut back in a number of places. And the revenues from taxes are dropping. New York City is very hard hit because of the very large amount of unemployment in high-income individuals that have been laid off by the companies within the financial district. Places like Los Angeles, Chicago, and Phoenix, and of course travel has been cut back, not only because of people not having the money to spend, but also the terrible time they put you through just to get on a plane nowadays. So it's all starting to add up, and I'm afraid I have to tell you that it's going to get a heck of a lot worse before it gets better. There's nothing sane about what goes on Wall Street, banking, in the government of the United States. I'm looking at a country that is a shadow of its former self, and the reason why is business, Wall Street, banking, and government have looted the American people out of almost everything that they own. America is bankrupt.
'Twas a dark and evil day that I was born. Curse my mother's loving care that made me safe from harm. Curse the day I grew to be a man and learned to love.